Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for the 14th reading of Oyasumi Punpun. Last time on Punpun, we moved into a new apartment for reasons, met the landlord a couple of times and talked to him about some stuff, and he has sort of an inference that Punpun's got something dark going on in his past that's hurting him, and this landlord seems to want to dig into that and figure out what's going on there, which is pretty interesting and also pretty scary. If you've ever been in the circumstance where you're trying to hide trauma and somebody's like actively and well-meaningly trying to dig into that trauma, often your response is no, please. And we'll see how that goes. Punpun's been thinking about some things, but he hasn't really opened up to this guy, and that's okay. But something else has happened, something very interesting. While talking to this guy at a bar, an izakaya, stay, drink, place. Great. Like a bar. And the landlord is singing with some lady. I think she's the owner or something. I don't know. A curious character walked in. One Sachi Nanjo, a character that we have met years ago on the fateful date night with Kanye. A character who showed odd interest in Punpun because he was standing there showing odd interest in her painting of stars. And having met and talked, Punpun drank way too much for somebody who's never really had alcohol before, and sort of hyper passed the fuck out. And it appears that Sachi Nanjo has brought him home and stayed in his home. And we'll see where things go from there, because we are suddenly in an interesting circumstance where a good-looking woman has just stayed in Punpun's house, and there's no way that he has any idea how to deal with this, and there's no way that he deals with this without tripping over himself and falling flat on his face. But she has grace, even if Punpun doesn't. So she might be able to manage this whole situation in a way that makes it actually interesting, and I'm really excited to see how it's all going to play out, and how Punpun's going to self-sabotage himself on this one. I'm sorry for bringing that up this way, but when we first meet Sachi Nanjo, one of the things that goes through drunk Punpun's mind is this idea that he is somehow beholden to Aiko, and that by doing this, at least implied, he is betraying Aiko. And he comes back up with that idea, well, if you betray me one more time, Punpun, I'll kill you. But that's not Aiko saying that right now. That's Punpun saying that. That's his own misplaced guilt, right? And so that's why I think that Punpun will self-destruct on this one. He will somehow cause this to go very poorly when it has no reason to go very poorly. It might take some time. It might go really well at first, but I think eventually he's going to steer it in a direction of failure for his own reasons, by his own intention, consciously or subconsciously. And that sucks, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how Hideo Asano writes it out, because Asano writing these nuanced character interactions has been oh so good. So, let's go ahead and dive into Punpun Omnibus 4. We're starting at page 228 to 29, and moving in toward the beginning of part 8, which starts on page 232. Okay, we get a story thus far. Having mistaken ulterior motive for motivation. Ugh. Asano. That's all we need. All right, we're done here. We wrap. Asano made his point. Having mistaken ulterior motive for motivation. Wow. That's a little real. Punpun moves out on his own. He later meets up again with the dark-haired artist with the center part. She then comes on to him big time. I don't know about that, but yeah. Punpun is in a tizzy. Punpun Onodera, an 18-year-old part-timer. He is invincible. No, he's not. Sachi Nanjo, a 22-year-old cram school teacher. Her glasses are the core of her being, so she dies if they come off. Of course. Yukinoshin Mimura, an 18-year-old college student. The moon will be dyed red again tonight. Please tell me that Yukinoshin Mimura isn't, like, dating Sachi, or something isn't all fucked up in this way, or things don't get all conflicted and love triangle-y. I don't want none of that shit. I want simple, hard darkness. I want simple pain, not complicated pain, okay? Simple pain, Punpun. Simple pain, Asano. Let me shake my magic 8-ball. Oh, yep, complex pain. Interesting, great. All right, let's dive in. Pussy, pussy, dick, dick. Pussy, dick, dick. Pussy, pussy, dick, dick. Pussy, dick, dick. Kapow! What? Ah! Pussy. Ah! Art. Is it? What is it? I don't know. Dong! Triangle Punpun. That's fun that Asano can do some stupid shit like that and just put a single shape. And it means something to us. That's fun and dumb, but fun. Pussy, pussy, dick, dick, pussy, dick, dick. Pussy, pussy, dick, dick, pussy, dick, dick. Kapow! Is he looking? Pone Pone. Pone Pone, you just staring at the snatch? What are you doing? Oh, buddy. Oh. Oh, and he's fully three-dimensional and prismatic, like an alien from Ava. An angel from Ava. That's how I view it anyway. Fully three-dimensional prismatic. Oh. Hair. Hi. Oh, he was reaching for... No! Pone Pone! No. God. Ah. Ding. Huh. Pone Pone. You up? I'm hungover, so I'm gonna go take a shower, but then I'll make breakfast. Do you want to stay? How could he crash that hard in someone else's bed? He's a restless sleeper, this one. Well, he's just trying to hide and pretend not to be asleep. Ugh. Ow. Just one arm. I completely overslept and I have plans with a friend, so I have to go. I don't remember much about last night, so I apologize if I did anything rude. Sorry if I put you out. Poon Poon. No, dog. Milky Way. Sachi Nancho, he has to step over her paints. And he leaves. Out he walks. And just like that, Poon Poon told another stupid lie. Fuck. I didn't expect him to just do it in the first moments. Sometimes I don't like being that right. I kind of wish I was a little bit wrong on this one. Why did Poon Poon have so much trouble relating to other people? Liars are bad. They should die, no excuses. So, talking about himself. Hey, hot stuff. Time to show us your sense of justice. Magic. Huh? Girls love it. What? People like me should just hurry up and get killed. Why is everyone looking so relaxed and leaving me alone? Idiots. No, stop that now. The last few months, how many times would Poon Poon have to keep obsessing over the same thing, over and over before he was satisfied? He was a natural-born idiot after all. That's right. Who even cared anymore? And he lets go of the umbrella. Watch him go and grab it in the next frame. It's not like he would find Aiko today. It didn't matter anymore. If he got another opportunity with Miss Sasspants, he should just peel off her clothes and shove his meat in, no matter who she was. So that's that same idea with Kanye that he had that was like, damn, I missed an opportunity, right? Missed a chance. Wrong perspective. But I want to step back a little bit. This moment. So, and just like that, Poon Poon told another stupid lie. Why did Poon Poon have so much trouble relating to other people? Liars are bad. They should die. No excuses. I am bad. I should die. No excuses. People like me should just hurry up and get killed. Why is everyone looking so relaxed and leaving me alone? Well, it's combinatorial in answer to his question. Why did Poon Poon have so much trouble relating to other people? And then there's this line, why is everyone looking so relaxed and leaving me alone? This is great. This is great. First off, why did Poon Poon have so much trouble relating to other people? Well, he doesn't, really. He's put walls in front of himself, right? They're false. And that's what you will find out if you break through them. If you feel that way, you'll find out that those walls don't actually exist, right? He could have related to Sachi Nanjo. He chose not to because he was afraid of the possibility. Right? He chose not to. He walked out of that room. He made the lie. He did all of that. And I think it's because he's ashamed. He doesn't know how to view her as a person, right? It's combinatorial. All of his primary connections have been fraught, have been problematic. His connections with his parents are built on lies and horrible things and disconnect, lack of connection with his father, at least. With his mother, it's a hateful relationship. Why is the other part? Why is everyone looking so relaxed and leaving me alone? Because that's your interpretation. It's not the case. It's like when you're feeling lonely and you walk through the world and all you pay attention to are the couples. Or in this situation, it's that he's inferring, he's assuming that everyone around him, because they look so relaxed and are leaving him alone, are doing well with their lives. But that's a crazy assumption because we've met a lot of people, right? Now, maybe Punpun hasn't because he hasn't. But we have, as the audience watching this show, we've met a lot of people. And almost none of them are actually relaxed. Almost all of them are harboring some darkness or dealing with some shit. Everybody's just wearing armor, right? Everybody's just wearing their mask, their shell, the armor that they put on to walk through the outside. It's really easy to assume when everyone has their armor on that everybody's lives look great, especially when your life doesn't feel so great, right? And this is in our modern day. This is compounded tenfold, 20-fold, 100-fold by the existence of social media and Instagram and stuff. Most people on social media won't actively tell you, hey, I feel like shit today, blah, blah, blah. Most people won't do that. I will, but I'm a weird exception. I felt like shit yesterday, for example. Thought about making a separate video about it, actually, because I got this feeling. It was just a way of putting it together in my mind. It's a feeling like life, day by day, is swinging on like a set of monkey bars that goes up and up and up. And they get further and further apart each time. So you have to really swing and catch, almost like American Ninja Warrior or something like that, right? You have to swing and catch each monkey bar or each hanging ring, right? And then all that it takes is one slip up, one mistake, one miscalculation, and suddenly you're falling back down to the bottom. That's not how it actually is, but that's how it feels sometimes. It feels like if you miss one day of consistency, you've lost everything, whether it's in the gym or at work or waking up on time. And that's how I felt yesterday. I felt like everything fell apart, and I spiraled out, man. It was bad. But most people, even if they go through things like that, don't tell anybody about them. Don't reveal them to anybody. They put on their face, they put on their mask, they put on their armor, and they go back out into the world and they smile and laugh and they pretend. So, when you're feeling like shit, everyone else looks so relaxed and so perfect. And it reflects back on them, on you, and makes you feel like you're a failure because everybody else seems to be capable of living good lives, and you're not? Then what's wrong with you? What's wrong with me? Maybe it's not that, though. Maybe it's not that. Maybe everybody's got some stuff going on. Really interesting. He was a natural-born idiot after all. That's right, who even cared anymore? Punpun's tendency to just throw things away and leave things be and walk out into the rain is scary. Because it is that kind of nothing matters sort of tendency that could lead to him walking off a cliff, right? In a moment of peak. Not a well-thought-through suicide kind of idea. A moment of fury or a moment of self-hatred. That's very scary. It's not like he would find Aiko today and so he gives up. And if he gets another chance, he should just peel off her clothes and shove his meat in. Rough. I wonder if the police would arrest me. I wonder if they would execute me. He's hoping for it, honestly. What's that? Ding. Pyun. It's like, I don't know what the fuck this is. Tissues. Oh, just sitting in his bed, like, oh, having used up a lot of tissues, I'm sure, for blowing his nose. And for no other reason. And the outside awaits. Oh, there he is. He goes out and stands on the bridge anyway. He's stuck. He's stuck. He goes out and stands on the bridge anyway. Interesting. Once again, the rain slithered down. The unpleasant humidity entwined itself around Punpun's body like a fog. His sighs were sucked down into the town's irritation and resignation. Whoa. That it's part of the town. Punpun wasn't sure that he could think about anything anymore. But there was a danger that by wandering the streets like a zombie day after day, he would be unable to remember what he was trying to do. Oh. Punpun! Hey! Hello? Hey, you there! Don't ignore me, Punpun! Yeah, you! Oh. Hello? It's pouring again. I'm on my way home from work. Punpun, do you have plans? Great, you're very flexible. Oh, and she's wearing striped pants. Asana, you got a twisted sense of humor with those stripes, man. She just happens to be wearing striped pants? Fucking hell. My stuff gets stolen all the time, including umbrellas. What? Shh. The other night was something else, wasn't it? You were so far gone, you were making zero sense. Mr. Shishido ended up going off with some of the regulars. And since you seemed worried about it, there were no drunken shenanigans, so don't stress. Oh, that's right. Punpun remembered now. Oh, sorry, do you want a drink? You should probably lay off the booze. How about some oolong tea? I just bought a bunch yesterday. Patties! If his destiny was to return to this room, I could have sworn it was around here somewhere. Then he must stick his cock in her sassy pussy. Dude, ask for consent. Bro, please don't assault Nanjo. Please. By the way, sorry you were late for your thing. If I'd known you had plans, I would have woken you up. Oh, here it is. Was it with your girlfriend? Did you get there in time? She's so cool. Huh? What? What's up? Do you need any help? No. Oh, no. It's a one-person job. Make yourself at home. You've got the graveyard shift, right? Here, dig in. You're broke, right? You look pale. You should eat better. Let me know if it's too bland. If there's anything you don't like, just shove it aside. I have natto and kimchi, so please help yourself. Oshamanbe Hokkaido. Correct. Oh, they're irritating. Model turned celebrity is too greedy, don't you think? Must be nice to be so blessed. Oh, you can change the channel. You're surprisingly kind, Nanjo. You think? Is it because you have confidence in yourself that you can be kind to other people? Wow, that's a twisted way to think, and surprisingly, that's uncalled for. This is just normal. You got the usual amount of self-interest in being liked, just like everybody else. I'm sorry, I'm not very good at talking to people. Punpun wished you hadn't said anything at all. So you don't have any self-confidence? Then make some, or go to the store and buy some. Make some. You know, I've noticed that you stress out about everything. That must get really exhausting. Just talk naturally. Say what you think. I'm scared that natural will hurt the person that I'm speaking to. It's okay. I'm thick-skinned. Just be yourself. I mean, the thing that he wants to say is, I really want to fuck you. You're hot. Right? Like, that's the thing that he wants to say. And there are circumstances where that can be called for. I'm also, I will say, I am a huge, massive fan of radical honesty. As somebody who grew up in a broken household, and to some extent grew up as a liar, and viewed myself as such for a while, during my teen years mostly. A liar by circumstance. When you live in a harsh environment where saying the wrong thing can get you hurt, or get things taken away from you, or get punishments brought down upon you, you lie. Because duh. And then, of course, your parent will, maybe if they find out about the lie, they'll be like, why did you lie? The punishment would have been would have been less bad if you hadn't lied. And it's like, yeah, but there would have been no punishment if you hadn't caught me. And you were gonna punish me regardless, so I'll take the chance. Anyway, I grew up that way. I really truly did. And it took an immense amount of effort to overcome it. And the conclusion that I've come to over the last couple of years, and I've been living this way for a couple of years, is that when you want something from somebody, you should tell them in no uncertain terms with no qualifiers. When you don't like something that somebody's doing, you should tell them in no uncertain terms with no qualifiers. When you want somebody, you should tell them, because you won't get that many chances. When you want to do something, you should do it. Because the world, while it might look at you, side-eyed, like, what are you doing? Doesn't have any right to judge you, as long as what you're doing isn't hurting other people. When you need to say something, speak the truth, and nothing but the truth. Honesty, even if it will hurt, even if it's harmful, even if other people would shy away from it. And that doesn't mean actively seeking out ways to be honest and hurt people. I've seen that so many times. Oh, I'm not mean, I'm just honest. That's some bullshit. You can be honest and you can still be kind. And you don't always have to say everything. But when you do speak, you speak honestly. And here's what I've found that's crazy. It's crazy. And it kind of goes along with some conversations that we've had about hell being inside you. We had that conversation about hell being in here, hell being a result of your own conscience hurting you because of your own behavior. Lying. I think there's a reason that multiple societies, multiple social groups, cultures, religions have claimed that lying and betraying are two of the greatest, if they are called sins, the greatest ways to err, ways to miss the mark. Lying. And I think that there's reason behind that, because I think that when you are a liar, you end up in hell, because truth ceases to lose its meaning. And you as a person cease to lose your grounding in reality, because you stop living in reality with a little bit with every lie that you tell. Because you're holding on to that. In part, you're holding on to that space of lie, right? A common justification people use for being a reason to be honest is, well, if you're honest, then you don't have to remember all your lies. And I think that's true. But there's something else to it. I feel like every time you lie, a little bit of your ability to connect to the reality around you goes away. It goes away. And without that foundation in reality, you as a person, as a being, as an entity, become less stable. Your feet become a little less stable. You become a little less grounded with every lie that you tell. And so the idea that being natural, being straightforward, and not worrying about hurting somebody is potentially the way to get to self-confidence echoes with my perspective, because when you speak only truths, your feet find solid foundation. And your feet being on solid foundation, psychologically, that's what confidence means. You don't have to be unself-confident if everything that you've said you know is true to the best of your own knowledge. There's another corollary to the process of being radically honest, and that is when you don't know something, or you don't know if you know something, you have one of these in your pocket, right? You do, right? And it has internet access, right? And you can figure out a sequence of words that will, when you plug them into Google, almost immediately answer any question that you have. Use this. Use it a lot. Use it a lot. Everything that you have any idea about, speak the truth. Anything that you don't know about completely, look it up, then speak the truth that you find. Now you don't have any lies to worry about. Pretty great. It works great. It works great. Now it's a step from there from not lying to being capable of the actions that we think of as being self-confident. Cold approaching somebody that you've never met before and talking to them. That's tough still, right? But it's a start. It's a fucking start. God, it's a start. And it makes it way harder to lie to yourself about reasons to not do it. Because the reasons to not do it are often going to be excuses. Well, what if blank, 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 but that's not really true. pretty fucking cool. I like Sachi Nanjo a lot. Sachi Nanjo might be best girl. Obviously, I mean, Midori isn't. It's okay, I'm thick-skinned. Just be yourself. No. It's okay. So, how is it? Bing! A little tiny bird Punpun. Out of the triangle Punpun. I don't know what all these mean with the triangles and the weird guy and the hypotenuse and the different, like, angles and shit. It's delicious. Wah ha ha! Very good. Not only do I not have a girlfriend, I don't even have friends. I was feeling really awkward the other day, and so I lied and said I had plans so I could leave. Good job. You just told the truth. Awkward? Why? While you were passed out, I stared at your bare legs and your thighs. To be exact, I was mostly looking at your crotch. I saw your pubic hair popping out. I was like, whoa! And then I was like, yikes! So that's why I ran away. As long as I'm being honest, I jerked off for the first time in 3 years last night. Shh. Oh, that's why there were so many tissues used. Yeah, and he had been intentionally celibate for those 3 years. Wow. Actually, to be more accurate, between the hours of last night and this morning, I was masturbating continuously. I've prohibited myself from masturbating since high school for personal reasons, so it was incredibly powerful. She's just gonna take this all in stride. You idiot, you didn't have to tell me all that. Seriously? I was flashing my panties? So sorry. Want me to show you again? It's no skin off my back. Ha? Ha? I'm just kidding, smack. Huh? I'm astounded you held off for 3 years. I won't ask what the personal reasons were. Yo, Prince Wet Dream, do you have a whiff of the you do have a whiff of the fairy tale about you, but I had no idea it was so twisted. You're very interesting. How very gratifying. I'm privileged to have been a part of your character arc. Do you want another oolong tea? By the way, do you remember when I asked you to write a story to be illustrated? I'm completely into you writing it now. I don't care if you have talent or not. I want you to write because I'm interested in you. No way, no way. Wow. I love this. I love this. Okay, I want to ask what the personal reasons are. Wow. First off, every person would want to pry into that shit, so Sachi Nanjo is dope as hell. Second, Prince Wet Dream? Immediately a great line. That's rough. And you do have a whiff of the fairy tale about you, but I had no idea it was so twisted. This is a person who has, like, a normal view on sex and sexuality, right? Like a normal one, which is great, because Punpun has never met somebody who does. Never. Yuichi's all fucked up. Midori's all fucked up. Midori fucked him up. His parents are parents, and parents don't talk about birds and the bees properly with their kids, ever. They just never do. Prince Wet Dream, and this idea of a whiff of the fairy tale about you. There's something in you that has this scent of a dreamer, someone who's living in the world as though it's not real. Someone who's living in a world of dreams, a fairy tale. That's great. That's great. And she just moves along with it. I'm privileged to have been a part of your character arc. By the way. Yeah, do you remember? No way, no way. What do you mean, no way? You're not doing anything else. I asked Mr. Shishido for your address. You can't hide from me. Punpun. I get that you're really earnest. But is there a point to you just hiding away? I don't know what your issue is, and I get that if you're by yourself, you can't hurt anyone. But the world isn't simple enough for you to survive all on your own. And besides, you're not that strong, am I right? So she immediately sees Punpun's hedgehog dilemma. Hedgehog's dilemma, Evangelion, hedgehogs are spiky. They want to connect with other people, but they can't because they spike other people. Okay? They get hurt and other people get hurt. We know what it is. Just throwing that in case you don't remember. Immediately recognizes it, and then tells him the corollary to it, the problem with it. But the world isn't simple enough for you to survive all on your own. No man is an island. This is not good. And besides, you're not that strong. That seems like an insult, but it's not, right? It's just a truth. And Sachi Nanjo is following her own advice and speaking the truth as well as she can see it directly to Punpun, and it's exactly what he needs. Rough. Ding. Fool, correct. I have something I need to do. Something you need to do? I need to settle things with a girl I used to love. Settle things? Are you going to tell her how you feel? No, not really. But I feel like I need to see her again. So today, just like every other day, I walked around town looking for her. You mean you're just not over her? That's so inefficient. How long can you keep it up? For 2 years, until the lease is up on my apartment. And if you don't find her by then? Wow. No comment. The girl, she was like your classmate or something, right? You could look her up in an old school directory or ask your other classmates. It's not that hard. But he's not actually looking for her, right? He knows that he could have done that. It's this ethereal, what's it called? Serendipity that he's looking for. He's looking for this serendipitous encounter with Aiko, that magic again. You know, maybe you don't really want to find her. Bingo! Ding, 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 ding. Maybe you are looking forward to a momentous reunion, but what's the point? It seems like you're just making excuses and putting off making a decision. I suspect it won't be just 2 years. I think in 10 years you'll still be looking for excuses. You'll appear conflicted, but in reality you'll be living an unproductive life without thinking or doing a thing. I don't mind. Lots of people are satisfied playing the despair game. But I think your despair is pointless, because you're looking for solitude too, which means there's no one to share your despair with. You're seeking both despair and solitude. You're seeking your end. You're seeking self-destruction. That's some brutal insight from Sachi Nanjo again. So, Punpun, I think bumping into me again was like fate, but whether you accept it as fate or a mere coincidence is up to you. So what'll you do? You want me to find that girl for you? I'm interested in what you mean by settling things. So why don't you pack up that wispy memory and use your brain for a happier, more fun tomorrow? Right. He's stringing himself along on this wispy memory. Stop it. So, tell me her name. I'll bring her to you in 3 days. Stop it! Because he's been called out. Right to the core of it. Then die. Right now. If you're unwilling to face either of the two possible futures, then just die. You're choosing to live in limbo. I'm going home. Oh, here. My number. Even if you just write a little bit, I want to see it. I won't write anything. I'm looking forward to it. Little smirk. Oh, she's got him by the balls! You're very pushy. Punpun, are you angry about something? Beep, 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 beep. Fake lashes on. Get the hair done. Oh, it's no rain. Or less rain. Nope, there's still rain. Punpun couldn't step foot out of his apartment that day. He was annoyed. He was very, very annoyed. I'm a math teacher. I love absolutes. Oh, wait, this is Big Chungus Muho Muho. Holy shit. This is Big Brother Muho Muho. He's a right, he's a teacher. He's a teacher at Sachi Nanjo School? Holy shit. I'm a math teacher. I love absolutes. When I was a student, I hated liberal arts, fine arts, and the occult. I'm not interested in the wishy-washy, pathetic, fleeting values invented by mankind, but math is absolute. I can't think of anything more perfect and exciting than a mathematical formula. I thought people who couldn't understand math should stick to easy stuff like literature. I was resolute until I met this guy. No, he's talking about Toshiki. Or Unicorn, Pegasus, right? The first time I met him was on campus. He was stark naked and humming. It was an unusual melody, and it drew me in, even though I'm not interested in music at all. I asked him what song it was, and he looked at me with childlike eyes and said, "This is the song I heard last night in my dreams, and it predicts your tomorrow." You know, in the beginning I thought it was ludicrous, but the next day, just as he predicted, I had the most awful razor burn, was late for my date, and got dumped by my girlfriend. And that's not all. He accurately predicted the AUM Sarin attack, 9/11, and Mari Mokori. What is Mari Mokori? I've never heard of that. Oh, it's the little green character with the dick bulge. Because yeah. Mokori literally bulge is slang for erection because he's got a big erection. He's got a look it up on your own. Look up Mari Mokori on your own. I won't put it in here. All right. His soul is really pure. Not only does he not use his talent for gain, he doesn't even brag about it or try to prove it's real. He reminded me of Ramunajan, the genius mathematician who said a goddess came to him in his dreams and taught him theorems. And then I realized I might be just an ordinary guy, but I exist to prove the greatness of a genius. A divine miracle is indistinguishable from science if it can be proven. That's a great ambition. Fortunately, he's an innocent and very kind. His attitude towards humanity is totally merciful. People need to understand his mercy, and it is my job to show them. Well, thank you for that ridiculous story. You've lived up to your reputation as a unique pervert. By the way, I heard one of the girls say that your spit is poisonous and makes your face rot. Well, he actually has a small fortune. His dad was a religious leader, you know. So part of me thinks that an ordinary guy like me can get in good with him and make a little money. Sounds like a good plan. We're in a recession, so religion is probably popular now. For me, it's so shady it's a joke. But, Mr. Wada, you're even sleazier than you look. I'm strangely comforted. Was that a compliment? You should go out with me. In what context was that appropriate? Are you stupid? Oh, and another thing, stop waiting around for me after work and pretending it's just a coincidence. If you keep it up, I'll report you to the police for stalking. Let's go! Huh. See ya. See you later. Good vibrations. No, bad vibrations, actually. You have nothing but bad vibes, big bro, muho muho. Fucking crazy. Alright, walking around town. Couples kissing. Yo! Who's she yoing? Honestly, I didn't think you'd come up with something this quickly. I mean, I was hoping, but I was feeling a little guilty about being so pushy. Wow, she did. He did write stuff. It's grotesque! Absolutely terrible. First off, the grammar is atrocious. Did we really graduate from the same high school? It would be one thing if it was just a summary, but if this is the actual story, I'm editing the whole thing, okay? You're trying too hard. The characters and dialogue are so thin they won't translate to a story. This is a manga! A manga! I'm sure the one I read before was better, but maybe I'm just seeing it through the rosy filter of memory. Sachi! Oh, it's the sister. Shiny! Sorry to keep you. You're late, dumbass. Hurry up and sit down. You're an eyesore. Punpun, it's been a while. I'm Kanye, the older sister. Buba! The fuck? Sachi, are you still doing picture books? That's right. Can I take your order? I was a rabbit in a previous life, so I'll have a small salad. Sure you were. Kanye, I see you've sunk to being a corporate slave. So what? I've made time for you out of my shitty busy schedule. So, how is if you polish it, he will shine going? Were you right? Punpun, getting back on topic, I think you can do much better. No need to be embarrassed, just write like you used to, whatever comes to mind naturally. So, you have any interest in rewriting it? So he's writing manga. I think it's best for both of us if we don't take this any further. Ah, that's exactly what I mean. You get enthusiastically unsure. Are you psychic? Can you see the future? There. What a catastrophe. I feel sorry for you, Onodera. Once Sachi starts up on a project, she won't let up. She's a self-actualization demon. She's pushy, overbearing, and rude. But she was really happy that she ran into you again. And she really does see promise in you. Trust me on that. Well, Sachi thinks she's trying to rescue you. But I'm hoping you can rescue her. She's like a swan in a lot of ways. Once an ugly duckling and all that. She's furiously paddling beneath the surface all the time. She looks nonchalant, but she's bluffing hard. Fucking great. And very similar to the previous idea, right? Everybody working hard, just pretending to be graceful and swan-like on the surface. Very cool. A lot of women doing that. Holy shit. I see it all the time. We talk about armor. I've found it over the course of the last months really interesting because, basically I try to talk to a new person almost every time that I go to the gym or try to make some kind of inroad with somebody, whether that's just like smiling and giving them the thumbs up after they've completed what looked like a hard set or like a hard lift, and just be like, nice. I do that all the time, and by doing stuff like that, I've made connections with an inordinate number of people at the gym. It's at the point where I'm a part of the space and a part of a cultural space there. And basically, anytime that I go, as long as I go during the same like time frame, there will be at least 2 or 3 people, some of them in groups or whatever, that I'll recognize and be like, hey, what's up? Which is great. It's wonderful. Some of them are girls and some of them are guys. And what I've discovered is it's not for lack of trying, but it's about 1,000 million bajillion times easier to break through the shell of the guys than it is the girls. And the reason for that is pretty straightforward and pretty simple, I think. It's a fucking dangerous world out there, and men are scary. And going to the gym as a woman is scary. There's a reason there are so many TikToks and Instagram stories and stuff of girls posting themselves getting ogled at the gym and everybody bandwagoning and being like, well, that's horrifying. Because it kind of is. I, for one, really hate being ogled. I really do. I mean, it's one of the things that I dislike more than almost anything else in the world. Whether it's women or men who are looking, I don't enjoy it. I just don't enjoy being objectified. And I understand why women don't enjoy being objectified. And I understand that they deal with it constantly. But the whole point is to say that women have, it's like socially evolved armor in a way that men have not. Men do the macho thing sometimes, right? Like sometimes there'll be guys walking around like mean mugging and shit. But there's the thing about those guys is almost every time, if you go up to them and you're like, hey man, can I use that weight? They'll be like, yeah, bro, got you. What's up? Hey, nice set, by the way. And it's like, oh, you're a human. You're a human being. Girls are way more standoffish, way more armor up. And very often, you know, it's, you ever have this feeling? I used to get it when I was walking around on a college campus. Sometimes I would have days where I'd walk around and I'd be like, I'm going to make eye contact with every person that I pass on the pathways. I'm going to make eye contact with them. I'm going to look at them in the face. I'm going to walk past them. I'm going to smile and I'm going to nod. And that's it. 90% of people walking those paths. 100% of girls walking those paths. Absolutely no. Sometimes even people who would know you, like people who you know, who you'd gone to classes with or interacted with. Eyes forward, locked in, armor on, blinders on, and armor on. Nobody, headphones in, that's another armor. Nobody talk to me. Nobody look at me. I'm doing my own thing. I'm going this direction. Everybody fuck the hell off. A lot of people doing that graceful nonchalance, but then also that armor on the outside. Doesn't it make sense that it would be easy to look at all those people and think, well, they've all got their own important things going on. But then here's the thing. On any of the days where I didn't feel like interacting with people, and so I did the same thing, and I think everybody naturally does it. Eyes forward, not look at anybody, not trying to interact, not trying to make contact with anybody. Oh, it felt so awkward every time I walk past somebody. It's that feeling of like, am I walking like a normal person? Do they think I'm weird because I'm staring straight off into the middle distance, like straight past them and ignoring them? Should I pull out my phone and pretend to be looking away at something? Oh, that's an interesting plant over there, I guess. Becomes really awkward, right? And what that implies to me is that all those people who look so graceful and perfect, armored up with their armor on like they're living in their own world, are actually very much in a conscious state of doing that and being very anxious about it. Almost always. There are very few exceptions of people who just walk around like they're balancing books on their head and are just like eyes forward and they actually have somewhere that they're going and they're doing and they're actually thinking about it continuously. Now those you can tell there's a difference. The ones who are just actively keeping their armor on and trying not to interact with anybody are very actively and anxiously running through a dialogue in their head that's like, did that guy just look at me? No, nobody looked at me. Nobody's doing anything. Am I walking normally? I think I'm walking normally. This is normal, right? Should I get out my phone and pretend to be looking at it so that nobody thinks that I'm weird? God, I should have headphones in just in case somebody tries to talk to me. I'll have an excuse to not have to talk to them. Finally, I'm so glad I managed to find a table in this library where nobody else is sitting and I can sit away from everybody else. And then anytime anybody walks by, I'm going to mean mug them to imply that they shouldn't come and sit at the table near me. Even though, honestly, I'm kind of desperate. It would be great if somebody came and sat at the table near me. I just don't know how to broach the conversation that we would have if we would have a conversation of any kind. It would be really awkward, and I don't know how to deal with that because people are scary, and I don't want to hurt myself or them by forming legitimate connections. Feels to me like everybody's doing that shit. Which then means that probably a lot of people don't care about getting disturbed or approached. And what I've discovered is that seems to be true. I have never, in the months and months and months that I've been going to the gym, and the times and times and times, the many people, dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of people who I've tried to form some kind of connection with, talking to them about their lifts, complimenting their form, offering them, I see somebody squatting with a barbell and they don't have clips on it and the weights are falling off. I'll go and find the clips because they're usually hard to find while I'm resting for my set. I'll grab the clips and I'll wave them in front of them and be like, hey, you might want to use these. Here you go. And they'll often be like, oh, thanks, I couldn't find them, whatever, right? Never, not one of those people that I've approached has ever said anything even close to the polite refusal, which would be in the realm of like, hey, sorry, man, I'm trying to focus on my set. Nobody's ever even said that. Nobody's ever even said that. Nobody's refused to interact. Nobody's been angry about it. Most of the time, I get a big smile. Most of the time, people have headphones in, so I have to like wave to them and like imply that I'm trying to get a conversation going. And mostly what I get is, yeah? It's interesting. It's interesting. People are better than you think they are. And most people are nicer than you think they are. It's crazy. It's crazy, but it's true. Now, that's different because it's at a gym, right? And there's something different about being at a gym. At the very least, everybody's there for a purpose, for the most part. Some people are there to fuck around and waste time. But mostly people are there to improve themselves. And that's a foundational basis that you can go into there and like understand other people in, which is useful. But it's still, as a thought about people, it's changed the way that I view people in general. Because I've managed to make acquaintances, not friends, but acquaintances with like the dumbass high school football skater kids who are there like once or twice a week and, fuck around and yell at each other and get in like wrestling matches and do stupid shit. I've befriended a couple of them or acquaintanced with a couple of them. Even had one of them come up to me and like, yeah, actually, that's something to mention. I don't know how much effect I had on this, and I won't take credit for it, but there was this group of those skater kids. Most of them don't come to the gym anymore, but one of them came up to me one time and asked me to show him any tips I could on squatting, because he was trying to figure out squatting, and he was like, it really hurts my shoulders when I put the bar there, what the fuck? And he asked me about it, so I taught him what I could. He comes back. He's there almost every time that I'm there, and he's lifting, he's working hard. His friends don't come anymore, but he does. Maybe there's variation. I don't know. It's just a thought. People are more like humans than you might think they are. Does that make sense? They're less alien than you think they are. Maybe less spiky, too. All right, let's continue. She looks nonchalant, but she's bluffing hard. I've known her since we were in elementary school, and she's always had a sketchbook with her. In middle school and high school, she won tons of awards, like the Governor's Prize, for her drawings. She had pretensions of genius. Well, she really was very talented. But it didn't last. It just suddenly dried up. She started at Waseda University with me, but then she ended up dropping out. She's talking about illustrating picture books as a hobby, but what is she really thinking? I think it's time to put an end to her delusions. By the way, what do you think Sachi's real dream was as a kid? To be a mangaka. She was working hard in college toward that goal. She was really close to landing a series, but it didn't work out. The failure was too much for her, and she's repressed it, and she's letting that espresso overflow. Or that coffee. She can't write stories. She used to get all worked up about how she was going to destroy the world with her manga. Big dreams. Wow. how she was going to destroy the world with her manga. So she hit a wall, and now she's trying to use Punpun to break through it. Do you want to stop at Mama's for a drink? Oh, sorry, you don't drink. Do you want to grab a coffee somewhere? I'm gonna go home early and do a rewrite. What? Really? Thank you. Huh. Does it have to be manga, Nanjo? The look, the blush, the look away. Kanye told you, didn't she? Yeah, I can't do it yet. But I got all worked up and trashed your story. Honestly, I'd give it about 1 star. I was really happy that you wrote it. So I'm giving you 5 stars for effort. Aw, cute. Ding, ding, ding. 10 floors of reinforced concrete, and you're on the 8th. It's a studio, but with 380 square feet, there's plenty of space. Yeah, I guess. All the buildings around here are short, so you'd have a great view. 5-minute walk to the station, and it's $7.50. That's about market rate. We manage the building, so you have nothing to worry about. I think the key's right here. Your management style is pretty sloppy. Yeah, pretend you didn't see that. Hey, this is nice. It's crappy on the outside, but nice and clean inside. Ahem. No way, the bathroom is new? I've got an old balanced flue tub and it sucks. Oh. Whoa, whoa. Ow! What? Oh, she fell. Wow. Tripped, fell directly on her fucking head. Whoa! Has the bleeding stopped? For the time being. Sorry about that. I have an old scar there and it splits easily. Well, that's scary. So, Sachi, what do you want to do? Do you want it? If you don't decide quickly, someone else might grab it. Yeah, of course. There's this guy at work who's kind of stalking me, and he found out where I live. It's creepy, but it pisses me off to move because of him. But that apartment seemed like a good place to work. Huh? Are you changing jobs, Sachi? Oh, no, it's nothing. Speaking of work, I know I asked you before, Punpun, but do you have any interest in working here part-time? Apparently, the thing to do now is to put all your listings in a database, but I don't understand any of it. Punpun, you're young. You get it, right? I'm sorry, I don't understand it either. Jeez, there you go again. I can't. If you keep going on like that, I'm going to slap you. You have to appreciate any work coming your way these days. Just think of this old guy as the golden goose. I'll do it! You two get along really well. You should date. No way. Oh, hey. How many times do I have to tell you? We don't have the money for part-time help. Oh, what? Misuzu, didn't you say you weren't feeling well and were going to rest today? Finally, stop. Sorry. I just imagine that everything she says just sounds like the wah, 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 wah. Finally, you stopped bringing cats home, but then you started picking up lucky cat statues from all over. And even with all of them, we still don't have any customers. It would be better if we tore this place down and turned it into a parking lot. You got that, old man? There. Go and lie down some more. God. And you don't even bother looking for a job. You just sit around waiting for someone else to hand you one. You need to earn a living. It's about hard work and setting goals, no excuses, but you walk around like you're dead. Already dead, totally disconnected from everything. You millennials are so arrogant, thinking you're so special with your clever words, but when you hit a wall, you just invent justifications for your failure. Like the hiring policy was unfair, the economy's down, working is giving in. That's not what the real world is like. The previous generations went up against an unfair society and they lost and got swallowed up. That's reality, so you should do it too! You don't get to act so superior while you have for reality! Cause you come stand when you're Oh, wait a minute. Isn't that a bit much? How's it gonna learn if I don't say it? Well, sure, but being nasty like that just betrays your roots. Oh, it's best to keep things simple for idiots. Punpun might be a few cards short of full deck, but I take exception to you criticizing an entire generation without understanding the circumstances. Circumstances? There's no circumstances on earth that makes it okay for a healthy young man to walk around. Okay, so what if he forces him to go to work and then becomes a member of the working poor, and he becomes sick, depressed? Can I hold you responsible for that? Wait. Of course, he can get little benefits for all the taxes I pay. There, calm down, both of you. I win. I'm leaving. I'm so busy. Wow. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, you two. My daughter is, wow, I see my daughter is really on edge lately. I think maybe she's menopausal. She never married. It's been a long rainy season this year. So, Sachi, give that apartment some thought. I'll try not to show it to anyone else. Punpun, stop by again. I'll call you when my daughter is not around. You're too nice, Mr. Shishido. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry you had to deal with that, just because I asked you to come along for a spur-of-the-moment apartment hunt. I'm sorry that I didn't speak up. Never mind. Apologies are cheap. I don't want you to misunderstand. I didn't say all that for you. I couldn't take it. I felt like she was criticizing who I used to be. I was pretty disappointed when you didn't speak up. But you know, it's like the old lady said. At the end of the day, we live in a competitive society. Opting out because you're afraid to lose is so pathetic. And justifying it with the fact that you aren't good at communicating with people is self-indulgent. If you want to use your troubled childhood as an excuse, then by all means, go ahead. How I live now is what's most important to me. So trying and losing is much scarier to me than dying. But I have to do it. I'm sure someone like you who just rolls over and gives up will never understand. Isn't that wrong? What? You're pretty and smart and talented. You started off blessed, so of course you're confident. I think it's cruel and wrong to expect the same kind of confidence from me. You just made some assumptions, bro. You just made some assumptions about where she started. You're wrong. How nice for you, ignoring people's feelings and just saying whatever you want and looking down on me. No. Please just stop picking on me. Punpun. I really didn't want to tell you any of this. My face? It's all plastic surgery. My mom took me with her when she remarried. I didn't get along with my stepdad or his kids. Fatso, stupid, ugly. That's all I heard growing up. So I stuck my finger down my throat as often as I could and studied like I was possessed. As soon as I got into college, I worked my ass off in nightclubs. And then I got my eyes, nose, cheeks, everything I didn't like I had redone. My brain, my body, I chose them. My life. And no one tells me what to do. Fuck the past. Dreams are meant to be fulfilled. I know I need money and love, so of course I want to be successful. It's a simplistic, stupid motivation, but my confidence is based on moving forward. I have ideals. I'll do what I have to. And I think that's the best me I can be. When I see you unable to make a move because you're so sad and anxious, it's not so much that it's irritating. It's like watching the me that I left behind. And it makes me feel guilty. Your anxieties and depression have no root. I understand that so much better than you. That's why I can't forgive you, and why I can't leave you alone. She's like a swan in a lot of ways. And wants an ugly duckling and all that. You're lucky. Usually when someone's being pathetic like you, no one ever stops to help. Yeah, damn right. Go to space, Punpun. And he gets dropped out of his triangle. You fucking idiot. Oh, damn. I hate crying in front of people. Sorry, that old lady just threw me off. I'll call you later. And he's crying too. Nanjo! What about the manga? Sometimes ideals aren't enough. Isn't it cheating to be inconsistent with like that? Will you write the story? A guy who knows nothing about manga? Will I? Of course I will. I'll rewrite it until you approve. Weird. Why are you all gung-ho? Are so gung-ho all of a sudden? I have experienced the pleasure of praise. I don't want to lose to a jerk like you. Don't do that. Your manuscript will get wet. If I fail again, it might break me. Oh. A rainbow. Rain. Ah. When I was a kid, I drew a picture of a rainbow and won an award at school. My mom was super proud of me. The only thing I was good at when I was a kid was art, and making my mom happy was my only reason for living. She was a cheapskate, but she'd buy me lots of manga, so I loved her. You know, my mom was an immigrant, so maybe she was using them to study Japanese. My mom is probably doing just fine. I bet she went back home to her own country and is living a life of leisure with some other man, right? Because problems. Yeah, I think I finally figured out what I was missing. Punpun, you can call me Sachi from now on. This time, I'm going to destroy this shitty world. And if anything happens, I'm counting on you, Punpun. Punpun couldn't deny that he was feeling restless from being tossed about by the sudden high-pressure system, but he decided that for now, he would just give himself over to the approach of summer. Hee hee hee. Sachi's hand was much larger and knobbier than he had expected, and it reminded him of someone else's hand, but he couldn't recall who that somebody was. We're going to call it there, but I'm going to go back, because this revelation from Sachi is fantastic and fantastically done. I knew it as soon as he said, you're pretty and smart and talented, you started off blessed, so of course you're confident. He was like, oops, you just fucked it up. Because we knew there were all those ugly duckling comments. We cut out her eyes throughout all of this really effectively. You're wrong. No, Punpun. I really didn't want to tell you any of this. It's all plastic surgery. She worked for it, and had it all redone because she found herself ugly. And maybe she was. I chose them, I chose my life, and no one tells me what to do. Fuck the past. Dreams are meant to be fulfilled. I know I need money and love, so of course I want to be successful. It's a simplistic, stupid motivation, but my confidence is based on moving forward. I love this. I love it. And it's true. It's the hardest part. How do you marry your ideals to the need to survive? It's a tough one, man. It's a really tough one. How do you follow a code and still make money? You need money. You need it. You will not survive without it. How do you follow a code? Or do you just throw it away? Not pursue your ideals. Do whatever it takes. Both are respectable in their own way. Of course, I have my preference. And I'm in a lucky position, which is that as far as I'm concerned, from my perspective, I follow my code. And as far as I'm concerned, my way of making money right now is ethical. Which is something that I couldn't say about most ways of making money, I don't think. You know, the way that I make money is pretty simple. I put out content, the content is free. If people enjoy the content, they can get a little bit more, a little bit earlier, by giving me money. That's it. I hope nobody feels exploited by that. I can't know, but I've designed the system as well as I can to avoid it. And there's truth here. The truth is that I could make way more money, potentially, if I did not follow that code. If I advertised on my videos, that would be income. If I made lots of Patreon-only videos, you know, that would be more income. You know, if I were to, for example, here's an idea that I thought about for a little while and then decided that it was unethical to me. The idea was shows and TV shows go up on the YouTube, movies go up on Patreon only. So if you watch all of Kimetsu, but you want to watch the Kimetsu movie, that'll be on the Patreon, you'll have to pay for it. I thought about doing that. And I decided that that wouldn't work for me. Because it's not right. It would be one divergence from the code that I've lived by, that I've run this business by, this channel by, that Patreon by. Which is that the information, the content is free. Always. Unless there's some circumstance where I absolutely cannot upload it to YouTube, right? Or it's some fun thing that I just want to do for patrons. Otherwise, it's free. The only thing that isn't free is voting. Voting in polls. And there's a reason for that. It's $1. The reason for it is the mass populace is not that invested. I want to make sure that the people who vote on my polls are invested in me as opposed to being invested in the show that they want to see. Does that make sense? And now there's some overlap. But if you only a little bit want to see, say, Jujutsu Kaisen, then the likelihood that you'll pay $1 to get me to see Jujutsu Kaisen so that you can watch it along with me is pretty low. Probably won't care, right? Because you can just go and watch it on your own. But if you're invested in me enough to pay $1, then maybe your vote should matter. At least that's how I see it. Success is necessary. Dreams are meant to be fulfilled. Fucking love this. I have ideals. I'll do what I have to do, and I think that's the best me I can be. When I see you unable to make a move because you're so sad and anxious, it's not so much that it's irritating, it's like watching the Mila that I left behind and it makes me feel guilty. Your anxieties and depression have no root. That's why I can't forgive you and why I can't leave you alone. Because you're let's be honest, you're a normal-ish looking, relatively intelligent, we know, because he was capable of getting good grades at one point, right? Relatively intelligent. We've had no indication that Punpun is ugly or has other deformities or other issues, right? You're also male, part of the dominant racial group of your nation. Your anxieties and depressions have little root compared to hers. Now, that's not entirely true. And it's the one place where I think Sachi oversteps a little bit. Because Punpun's anxieties and depression do have roots. They might not be rational, but they have roots. Familial roots. The fact that his relationship with his mother was not good, big one. Has to do with his attachment to women and the way that he attaches to them. Big time. But still, in the mirror of Sachi Nanjo's experience, of hating her own self, her physical self, and having worked to change it, it's enough to break through the triangle that Punpun has been living in, which turns now into a shell. An eggshell. And these constellations erupt, and he drops, unceremoniously drops, tears in his eyes, clunk, from the triangular, safe space he's been living in. And he runs after her. I'll write that manga. I'll write it all. I think I finally figured out what I was missing. You can call me Sachi from now on. And Punpun gives himself over to her ideal. It's a temporary solution, but attaching yourself to someone who's willing to help you, who's older than you, who's more experienced than you, and who has seen more pain than you have and knows how to deal with it to some extent, can be very, very valuable. Very valuable. Especially somebody as willing to actively and accurately call out your neuroses and problems as Sachi Nanjo has proven herself to be. Kind of fucking awesome. I kind of fucking love her. She's dope. She's dope. Fuck yeah. Okay, we're gonna wrap there. Thanks so much for watching. This has been the 14th of Punpun. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week for more Punpun. Let's go! I just had a fun screaming match in the middle of there, which was interesting. I definitely feel a little bit of scratchiness in my throat from doing that. Yikes. That's okay. This was a great, great chunk of Punpun. And we will finish up the big old volume next week. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. If you want some early Punpun, it'll be up on the early access on the Patreon, and I'll see you there. Peace.